So again, this is our 6-foot 3-point disc harrow. People call them a bunch of different things, field discs or whatever, but discs for that matter. Quite heavy. They're actually really heavy, probably 800 pounds or better. What we're going to do here is we got the old the corn from the fall here where we didn't, we're just going to disc it in. A couple passes on here. Gets in there, you can actually hear it biting in. Obviously it'll need a few passes, but we'll disc it a couple times, let it break down. It's around December 15th, and had a little bit of mild temperatures here. We're probably at 0 degrees right now. A little peek inside the greenhouse. Got our spinach, some beets, some lettuce. This is just a cold frame. It's 80 feet long, about 20 feet wide. It's nice and warm in here. It's really humid. Right now we're just getting this top plot here ready for, there was a couple rows that hadn't been rotivated. We're just going to break the ground. This little section here will be carrots, beets, turnip, a couple rows of tomatoes, get some potatoes in there. We're going to do 2 little plots, this plot here and that plot down below. As you can see off in the distance, we go way back to that far fence there, and eventually we'll stretch the gardens back there, but for now we're just going to bite off what we can chew. A lot of guys are saying these days that they're trying to stay away from tractors and machinery and stuff, and I've got a fair bit of experience around equipment, and I'm a big believer in equipment. If you can have access to it or rent it or use it. We picked up these discs for $500 used. You can get a really nice set. Everything works on them. Those same ones are about $3,000 new. They do the same job. 500 bucks. We slap them on, and I've pushed the rototillers. I've done shovel. I've turned ground. I've done it all. And when you have a machine that can actually go through, break your ground like that effortlessly for you in a matter of minutes, to me it's a no-brainer. I could spend weeks up here trying to get this ground all prepped. We have lots of animal and compost material we make here, worm castings, so we'll amend this soil. It's not a big deal. A lot of guys don't, they want to tarp the ground and not disturb the soil as much. There's lots of thoughts on that. We have had great success breaking the ground like this, turning it, adding compost, and it's worked well for us, so we're going to continue to do what works well for us, because we have good soil. There's virtually no rocks in this ground. There are some rocks, obviously, but there's relatively few. This is a little bit of dirt that had been rototilled last year, and just one pass over with the discs, the ground is gorgeous. And like I said, this is effortless. The guy's sitting in the cab of a machine, he's not sweating, he's not, and we just did, a plot here in a matter of minutes. So basically we're scarifying the ground right here. Gets in there, does a first cut, breaks the roots loose. And the guys, people will say, oh well, you got a tractor that's worth $30,000, $40,000. No one can, not many people can afford that. But a 50 horsepower tractor, you can get a used 50 horsepower tractor from the 60s or 70s that works perfectly fine. They go from anywhere from, in Canada here, from 1,500 bucks to 3,000 bucks. You get an awesome tractor, and lots of times for about 5,000 bucks you'll get discs, a mower, all the little things you need for an acreage. and you know, you're talking like $3,000 to $4,000, and you'd pay that in labor having people do all this kind of work, where you know, we're talking a few dollars in diesel in the tractor, and you know, to do this whole upper area, we're probably looking at about maybe 2 hours of tractor time to do, you know, to put in a garden large enough to provide for, you know, a nice size fruit stand or for market gardening. And we have the rototiller. You know, you buy some attachments, and some stuff is right, some stuff is wrong, and some stuff is you use it but you don't always need it. We spent a little too much on the tiller. We got pretty much a new one. It was $2,300. We bought it off a guy. He bought it new but never used it. And you know, we spent $2,300. We thought it was going to be the end all be all, and it does a beautiful job, but it's hard on the PTO of the tractor. You know, it's working the tractor really hard. And so we just made the decision, you know, another $500. We still have the tiller, so the tiller can come in, and the tiller actually, you know, we're on a hill here, and you know, if you're disking wrong or tilling wrong, you'll pull all your good topsoil right down to the bottom and it'll be gone. But if you use your tiller right and you start at the top and work your way to the bottom, the tiller actually throws the dirt a foot back up the hill. So, you know, using the right piece of machinery at the right time, you can really tweak out your property and your gardens quite effortlessly. And you know, we'll be able to plant some nice deep root vegetables. We'll put some carrots in here. We're hoping to do maybe this one plot here just carrots, and we like to do corn for a bit of windbreak, and then of course your beets and turnips and radish and spinach and lettuces and all that. So this is the discs when it goes right into a nice already tilled soil. You can see it just basically rolls everything over once and leaves just a nice, really nice flat work area. You can come along now and whatever you want to do. We're probably not going to do, well, we're definitely not going to do raised beds with the Ramio wood chip in here. We're going to heavily compost. We'll use compost we've been making for the last year. We've got a nice big pile of it. This little plot here will get heavily composted, and we're going to try and go to a bunch of overhead watering this year. We did the under the drip lines, and they have their place. We use them. They're awesome. But at the same time, overhead watering works really well for a number of different vegetables. And so we're going to kind of move towards the overhead watering, probably for this nice little plot right here.